This one came from the assignment desk, the news desk.
News blast.
Here it is. Nick Sirianni, your new HC of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Who did, could turn out to be a terrific hire. Might already be one. We don't know. His first press conference? We'll just leave it at that. First press conference, first impression. I have only one chance to make a first impression. I think you would take a mulligan on that.
Yeah.
Again, I should know. I would gold medal, as we found out last week, if 2-bounce tennis was a sport. Give me a second bounce, I'm killing it. So here's Nick Sirianni's second bounce. Here's the mulligan.
It's quite a mulligan.
Oh, gosh.
I know.
My gosh, somebody's got to coach him up on what to say to the Philadelphia media.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Did you see what he had to say?
Yeah, I saw it.
Asked if Jalen Hurts is his starting quarterback. Or I don't know what the question was, but he was asked, I guess, if Hurts is starting quarterback. Can you name Hurts your starting quarterback? Quote, to name a starter at this particular time, we've been working with these guys for 2 days. I looked it up just in case, because, again, as I tried to establish at the beginning of this opening of this show today, that I am plugged in as best I can just being on this show. Sometimes things slip through the cracks. Sometimes sometimes you're just too focused on a $4 billion sports venture going down the tubes in 48 hours. Sometimes one day you're a super league, next day you're a no league.
Poof. Just like Kaiser Sose again, Rich.
Right.
Again.
One day you think that you're in charge of the soccer world because you got $4 billion coming your way. Next day, the fans of your sport drink your milkshake. They drink it right up. Hold on to that. It's called setting the stage. It's called dropping breadcrumbs. But I looked up. I looked it up just in case it slipped through the cracks. Did the Eagles sign anyone other than who I thought was on the roster? Look at their depth chart. In terms of the guys that they're working with for just 2 days, their names are Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco. Are you seriously talking to the Philadelphia fan base that you're giving Joe Flacco an even shot because you got to tell everyone on your roster that there's competition everywhere? Nothing is granted here. Everything must be earned. We've heard these coaches say these things. We've heard that axiom. These guys on the Philadelphia roster have no doubt heard that since Pop Warner. But when you are coming in, there's 2 ways to handle this. There's 2 ways to take this. One, the Eagles are going to draft a quarterback and make it an open competition. And he can't name Jalen Hurts the starter 8, 9, 10 days before they choose that guy because that guy might be given the shot at the job. Now, if you draft a quarterback, the Philadelphia Eagles sitting there at 12, never know. Maybe Trey Lance or somehow Justin Fields drops to them. You go get them, you go get him, and then suddenly you got to give him a shot, and you can't just go out and say Jalen Hurts is my starter right now. Can't put yourself in that box when you're going to go ahead and say, now the competition's open, things change in the draft. You could say that. Or he just doesn't know how to handle the situation.
I want you to have my cheese fries.
You know what I mean? So those are the 2 ways to look at it.
That one.
The answer could be, I've seen Jalen here. He did a great job last year. We have Joe here. I really like my quarterback room. Jalen had a great job. What he did last year is giving himself the right to be a top depth chart right now. How's that?
That's
as an answer.
That's much better than what he said.
I've only been with Joe Flacco for 2 days. Jalen Hurts has changed his number from 2 to 1. I'm just learning things around here. Things can change. All I think is this. I just want to say this. On behalf of humanity, I want to apologize to Jalen Hurts. Can this guy get a break? Can he catch a break? Right. And I understand somebody who plays and starts at the University of Alabama has caught a break. I get it. You know what I mean?
But bench
but we
halftime
all know
for
his
Tua.
story. I don't want to go through his whole story from there to Oklahoma. You know it. And then he gets a start in the NFL after 3 months Finally, I mean, Carson Wentz disintegrated to the point where his coach, who apparently wasn't talking to Wentz, finally abdicated to the obvious and gave him the start. And he was terrific. Gave him a spark, showed energy, showed an ability to play with an arm and a leg and a brain. That's what you need in this day and age, right? And then, in front of the whole country, gets benched in the fourth quarter of game 256, which does benefit Philadelphia coming up next week. And then they even changed some of that extra draft capital they got for tanking game 256 into more capital next year. It's going to work out for Philadelphia. But at the time, we remember the whole big to-do. New guy comes in. We hear the owner saying, I want Jalen Hurts. And yeah, I got 2 days in. I can't sit here and say Joe Flacco doesn't have a shot. I heard that. I'm like, oh, my goodness gracious me. I just, again, on behalf of the human race, want to apologize to Jalen Hurts. Cannot catch a break. And maybe they do draft somebody in the draft. And then there's a competition, and Jalen will beat the guy out. He should. He's going to beat out Joe Flacco out. Joe's there, you know, if they've got to break the glass in 2021. You know what I mean? Joe's there if they lose cabin pressure. That's what he's there for. Be sure to put your Flacco on your child first. In case we lose cabin pressure. That's what he's there for. Just wanted to point that out. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.